I am sitting here on my balcony watching the world go by, and it occurs to me that most of you are working far too hard for money that does not actually belong to you. You wake up early and you drink bad coffee and you sit in traffic just to trade your limited hours for a paycheck that is taxed before you even see it. It is a fascinating cycle of self-inflicted suffering that people call a career, but I call it a tragedy of misplaced effort. The truth is that complexity is a status signal for people who want to feel smart but stay poor. If you cannot explain your investment strategy to a 12-year-old child, then you are not an investor. You are just a gambler with a sophisticated vocabulary. I have reached a point where my portfolio of $150,000 generates enough momentum to make my old job look like a joke. I am 27 years old, and I am tired of watching people treat the stock market like a casino when it is actually a grocery store for assets. The quickest way to start making passive income today is by investing, and contrary to popular belief, it does not take a ton of money to do it. Most of you are waiting for a lottery win or a massive inheritance before you start taking your finances seriously, but that is just a cope for your own lack of discipline. In this video, I am going to share with you 5 ways to invest $1,000 so that you can start collecting dividends, profits, and interest in your sleep. Building a passive income stream takes one of 2 things. It takes time or it takes money. And frankly, the second option is a lot easier than the first. Money does not get tired. Money does not have a bad attitude. And money does not need a coffee break or a vacation. You can get started with as little as $1,000, which is probably what most of you spent on a phone that you use to scroll through videos of people more successful than you. Passive income is true freedom, and it is the one thing that differentiates wealthy people from the masses who are stuck on the treadmill of active labor. I first started realizing the importance of passive income in my mid-20s when I wanted to leave the corporate world, and I realized that an active paycheck is actually a leash. When you stop working, the money stops coming in, and that is a terrifying realization if you have no assets to catch you. Over the last few years, I have become obsessed with the logic of passive income, exploring everything from real estate to index funds, and what I've realized is that there is no such thing as an easy way to earn it if you are starting from zero effort. If you see an ad where someone is trying to sell you a magical program to make $10,000 a month with no money and no brain cells, it is a scam. You either put in the time to build a system from scratch, or you put in the money to buy into someone else. Successful system? The first way to start making passive income with $1,000 is to invest it in a REIT, which is a real estate investment trust. When you buy a REIT, you become a shareholder of a company that owns income-producing real estate like apartment complexes, hospitals, or data centers. A REIT is basically a stock, but it is a stock in a company whose entire business is owning and operating property. These entities are legally required to pay out 90% of their taxable income to you in the form of dividends, which is a fantastic deal for the lazy investor. Because real estate values and rents tend to go up over time, owning a REIT gives you a combination of passive income and long-term capital appreciation, compared to making a massive down payment on a physical house and dealing with tenants who break things and complain about the plumbing. A REIT is the lazy person's dream. There are many REITs you can buy with less than $1,000, such as Simon Property Group, which owns high-end retail locations across the country. If you look at the math, a yield of 5 or 6% means your money is actually doing something instead of rotting in a savings account that pays you peanuts. I know that $60 a year in dividends from a small investment is not going to buy you a private jet, but the vast majority of people make exactly $0 in passive income. Making your first dollar while you sleep is a psychological shift that changes your entire identity from a consumer to an owner. Once you realize that your money can breed more money, you stop wasting it on temporary status symbols that lose half their value the moment you leave the store. The second passive income idea is to invest in a municipal bond fund, which sounds boring because it actually is boring. These are essentially loans you make to local governments to fund public projects like schools, parks, or highways. The beauty of municipal bonds is that they are generally safe, and the interest is often tax-free at the federal and sometimes state level. If you live in a high-tax environment like New York or California, tax-free income is the ultimate cheat code that the government leaves open for those who pay attention. You can buy these as individual bonds, but it is more logical to buy them as a fund to diversify your risk across hundreds of different municipalities. If you are looking for a super safe way to park $1,000, a bond fund is a solid choice for generating consistent interest without the gut-wrenching volatility of the tech sector. The third way is to buy dividend stocks, but you have to be careful not to fall into the trap of yield chasing like a desperate amateur. Some companies pay a 10% dividend because their stock price is crashing and they are desperate to keep investors from fleeing their burning building. Look at a company like Macy's as an example, where the revenue and margins have been sliding for years because they are locked into expensive long-term leases while the world moves to digital commerce. I do not recommend buying a stock just for the dividend if the underlying business is a sinking ship that will eventually take your principal down with it. You want quality companies that have been paying and increasing dividends for decades, companies that sell products people need regardless of the economy. If you cannot be bothered to research individual balance sheets, which let us be honest, Most of you are too lazy to do. The fourth and best option is to invest in index funds. The entire point of an index fund is to remove the need for individual research and human error, because you are betting on the entire market rather than a single horse. You are buying a piece of the entire economy and letting the collective growth of the most successful companies on earth push your net worth higher while you nap. I have been doing this for years, and there is nothing I love more than seeing those quarterly dividends hit my account without me having to check a single stock chart. I set up my account so that dividends are automatically reinvested to buy even more shares of the index fund, which creates a compounding machine. This creates a snowball effect where your income grows even if you never add another cent of your own money, because the money is working for itself. The SP 500 might only yield a small percentage in dividends, but the capital growth over a decade is what creates real life-changing wealth. Finally, the fifth idea is to leverage what you already have, like using a small amount of capital to set up an Airbnb space in your own home. I once spent less than $1,000 to put up a temporary wall and buy some basic furniture for an unused room, and I made that money back in a single month of bookings over 2 years. That small investment turned into over $20,000 of rental income, which paid for my lifestyle while I focused on other things. It took maybe an hour of my time a week to manage the messages and ensure the space was clean for the next guest. That is the kind of lopsided return on investment that actually changes your financial trajectory and gives you breathing room. You have to stop thinking like a worker who sells their time and start thinking like a capitalist who owns systems and assets. Complexity is just a status signal for people who want to feel smart but stay poor because they are too busy overthinking to actually execute. True wealth is simple, it is boring, and it requires the discipline to stay the course when everyone else is panicking over the news. Most of you will watch this and then go buy a pair of sneakers or a video game instead of investing your $1,000 because you are addicted to the short-term hit of dopamine. But for the few of you who actually understand the math, the path to freedom starts with that first boring deposit into a productive asset. You do not need a complicated strategy, or a high-frequency trading desk, or a degree in finance to succeed in this game. You just need to own assets that pay you to exist and have the patience to let them grow over time without interfering. The world is designed to drain your wallet through subscriptions, inflation, and mindless consumerism. And the only way to opt out of that system is to become a collector of cash flow. Whether it is real estate, bonds, or index funds, the goal is always the same: to decouple your time from your income. I am going to keep sitting here on my balcony, and I am going to keep drinking my coffee while my $150,000 does the work that you are too afraid to do. I am sitting here thinking about the millions of people who will never understand this, who will spend their entire lives chasing a paycheck that never quite covers their bills. They will blame the economy, they will blame their boss, and they will blame the government. But they will never look in the mirror and realize they are the problem. They are the ones who decide to spend $1,000 on a vacation they cannot afford, instead of buying shares in a company that would pay for their future vacations. They are the ones who think that investing is too risky, while they live a life that is fundamentally unstable because they have zero passive income. If you have $0 coming in from assets, then you are one bad day away from being broke. And that is the real risk that you should be worried about. I look at the $150,000 I have accumulated, and I do not see a number in a bank account. I see a wall of protection that keeps me safe from the madness of the world. I see thousands of hours of life that I have bought back from the corporate machine, and I see a future where I never have to say yes to something I do not want to do. Most of you are slaves to your own desires. Trapped by a lifestyle that requires constant maintenance and constant labor, you buy things to impress people you do not even like, and you wonder why you feel so exhausted and unfulfilled at the end of every week. The path to wealth is not paved with hustle and grind. It is paved with the ability to be bored and the ability to say no to immediate gratification. I do not care about the latest trends, I do not care about what is popular on social media, and I do not care about looking rich to a bunch of strangers. I care about the math, and the math says that if I keep my expenses low and my investment rate high, I am winning the game of life. You have to realize that $1,000 is a seed, and if you eat the seed, you will never have a tree, and you will never have the shade that the tree provides. Most of you are starving for financial shade, but you keep eating your seeds as fast as you can find them. I am watching the sunset now, and I am realizing that another day has passed where I did not have to sell my soul to survive. That is the ultimate luxury, and it is a luxury that is available to anyone who is willing to be disciplined for a few years. $1,000 is all it takes to start, but you have to be willing to start today, not tomorrow, and not next year when you think you will have more money. You will never have more money if you do not know how to manage the money you have. Right now, I have watched people make six figures and still live paycheck to paycheck because they have no financial intelligence and no impulse control. I have also watched people make $40,000 a year and become millionaires because they understood the power of compounding and the value of a dollar wealth. Is a choice? And it is a choice that you make every single time you decide what to do with your surplus income. I am choosing freedom, I am choosing peace, and I am choosing to let the world fight over the scraps while I feast on the dividends. There is a profound sense of calm that comes with knowing that your bills are paid by your assets, and it is a calm that I wish more of you could experience. But I know that most of you will not listen. You will go back to your stressful lives and your debt and your complaints, and you will wonder why some people have all the luck. It is not luck. It is a $150,000 portfolio built on $1,000 increments and a refusal to participate in the consumerist circus. The world is a very loud place, and it is trying to sell you things at every turn, but you have to be the one who decides to stop buying and start owning. Every share you buy is a tiny employee working for you 24 hours a day. And the more employees you have, the less you have to work yourself. I have 150,000 tiny employees, and they are the hardest workers I have ever met, and they never ask for a raise or take a sick day. They just keep producing, and they just keep growing. And they are building a fortress of wealth that is becoming impossible to penetrate. I am sitting here and I am realized that I have said everything that needs to be said, and the rest is up to you. You can take the $1,000 and you can change your life, or you can take the $1,000 and you can stay exactly where you are. I do not care which one you choose because my path is already set, and I am moving toward total independence regardless of what you do. But if you want to be smart, if you want to be clear-headed, and if you want to be free, then you know exactly what you need to do. Stop overcomplicating it, stop making excuses, and stop letting your potential wither away while you watch others succeed. Take the $1,000, pick one of the 5 ideas I gave you, and commit to the process for the long haul. The dividends are waiting for you, the interest is waiting for you, and the freedom is waiting for you on the other side of your own laziness. I am going to finish my coffee now, and I am going to watch the stars come out, knowing that my money is still working even as the day ends. Wealth is a beautiful thing when it is used as a tool for liberation, and I hope you find the courage to pick up that tool today. The balcony is quiet, the air is cool, and my mind is at peace because I have mastered the boring math of freedom. There is no better feeling than knowing you are in control of your own destiny. And it all starts with a simple, disciplined decision. $1,000 is your ticket out of the rat race, but only if you have the wisdom to buy the ticket and stay on the train until the end of the line. I will be here on my balcony watching you from a distance, hoping that you finally decide to join me in the sun. Success is not a destination. It is a way of moving through the world with confidence and clarity. I have 150,000 reasons to be confident, and every single one of them was earned through the simple principles I shared with you today. Do not let another year go by where you are just a spectator in the economy. Become a participant, become an owner, and become free. The $1,000 is in your hand and the future is in your mind, so make sure you do not waste either of them. I am signing off now, truly this time to enjoy the fruits of my labor and the rewards of my discipline. Stay focused. Stay boring and let the wealth find you while you are busy doing absolutely nothing at all. The sound of silence is much better than the sound of a crowded office, and I think I will just sit here and listen to it for a while longer. Compounding is the 8th wonder of the world, and I am witnessing that wonder every single day in my own life. It is a slow process, it is a quiet process, but it is an unstoppable process. Once it gets moving, get it moving today, and do not look back until you have reached the summit of your own financial mountain. The view from the top is incredible, and the best part is that you do not have to be a genius to get there. You just have to be consistent, you just have to be patient, and you just have to be willing to ignore the noise of the world. I am $150,000 closer to my goal than I was when I started, and I am enjoying every single step of the way. The balcony is my sanctuary, and the stock market is my garden, and I am just here to harvest what I have planted. Go and plant your own seeds, and stop complaining that you have no harvest when you have done no work. The truth is cold, the truth is harsh. But the truth is, the only thing that will actually set you free in this economy, $1,000, 5 ideas, and a lifetime of freedom, that is the deal on the table. Take it or leave it, but do not say you were never told how the game is actually played. I am finishing my coffee now, and I am closing my eyes, and I am letting the wealth flow in while I drift off to sleep. This is the life I chose, and it is a life that you can choose too if you are brave enough to be boring. See you when the next dividend payment hits the account, and stay clear-headed until then. The world is yours if you are willing to own it, one share at a time. Goodbye for now, and remember that your wealth is your own responsibility. No one is coming to save you. So you better save yourself with the tools you have. $1,000 is a great place to start, so do not let the smallness of the number stop you from starting the journey. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single investment, and the journey to $1 million begins with your first 1,000. I am out. Truly and finally, to enjoy the peace that only financial independence can provide. Take care of your capital, and it will take care of you forever. The light is fading. The world is slowing down, and my assets are still producing. That is the definition of a good day, and I hope you have many of them in your future. The blueprint is yours, so do not let it gather dust while you live a life of quiet desperation. Change your math, change your life, and change your world. Starting right now, I am watching the moon rise, and I am feeling very lucky to be me. You should feel lucky to be you too, because you have the information you need to win. Now go and do the work, or rather, let the money do the work for you. $1,000, 5 ways, 0 excuses. The game is on, and I am already winning. Join me the end. Actually, it is just the beginning for you. Make it count. Do not look back. Keep growing. Keep owning. Be free. Seriously, I am going now. The coffee is cold and the moon is high. Wealth is coming. Can you feel it? I can. Every single day. Stay smart. Stay clear. Stay lazy. Goodbye.